What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're looking at all of the yellow Digimon from Booster 1.0. We have now had confirmation about all of the yellow cards, all the cards we're going to be getting, so we can have a jolly old look at them. And I do need to give a shout out to a bunch of lovely people who got in touch with me after the previous videos, who have informed me, and I missed this and I apologise, the set lists for the theme decks are up. The starter decks are online. They're on the official English website with official English scans. We'll get there as we get there. So starting off then, we need some Tamer, we need some Digi eggs, and we've got some hyper-specific ones. Kaiaramon has got an inheritable skill that if you've got 6 or more security cards, you gain 2,000 power. It's nice, and we've got ways to add security cards. We'll see these as we go through. But the fact of the matter is, there's going to be large chunks of the game where this does nothing. Cupamon, if you've got 5 or more security cards, you draw 1 when you attack. And drawing is awesome. But again, it's 5 or more security. As soon as you hit 4 security, this skill turns off and you don't have an inheritable skill. And I'm not a huge fan of this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, I'm not. I think both of these are hyper-specific in a way that I'm just not a huge fan of. There will be decks that can use them, but I'm not loving them. Honestly, we're largely left with Tokamon from the starter deck here. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping to 0 DP, this Digimon gains 1,000 DP for the turn. I think a lot of the time that's going to be the one you go for. Although, to be fair, both of these are quite nice in the early game. Now, moving on to the rest of the Digimon, we can start off with our level 3s, and we've got Tsukaimon. It's not a particularly good card, but it's a 2 cost to play normally. And the vast majority of your Digimon are 3 cost to play normally, your level 3s at least. In fact, all the other ones are. So this is your cheap level 3. There's no skill, either inheritable or otherwise, but it's a 2 cost to play normally, so there we go. And you'll be playing most of your level 3s normally. You can only hatch, evolve, and bring it out from the breeding area once every 2 turns anyway. Kudamon is a very weak level 3, but when you attack, if you've got 4 or fewer cards in your hand, you draw 1. It's a non-inheritable skill and you got 1,000 power. You're probably not surviving, but it's nice for draw power. Now, Tinkermon looks terrible. When we first saw Tinkermon, we said there's nothing good about it. It's not particularly cheap and it's not particularly powerful. But I'm going to spoil the surprise from a bit later on. We got Petermon here. When you play Petermon, that is plain, not Digivolve, they are different. You can play a Tinkermon from your hand or recycle bin without paying its memory cost. And that is a great thing. So no, Tinkermon isn't good, but you can play it for free, which is good. Patamon is a pretty nice card. When you play it, you reveal 4 cards on the top of your deck, put all the yellow Tamer cards into your hand, and place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Nice. Now, to be fair, Shine Greymon is the main one that wants Tamers, and Shine Greymon's not in Booster 1.0. It will be in Booster 1.5. But you know what? Still a good card. Still nice for getting your Tamers out. Labramon's got an awesome inheritable skill, whereby when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping it to 0 power, again, we're going to see a bunch of ways in a moment to do that, you get to draw a card. And drawing cards is good. And finally, Lyomon isn't particularly cheap, it has no skills, but 4,000 power is high. This is not high on my list of Digimon to play. Repamon is another vanilla Digimon. It's a 3 cost to play normally. All your other level 4s are 4 or 5 cost to play normally. So it's cheaper to play normally. Simple as. Sesamon is a Digimon that's not got great stats, but it does have jamming. Which is to say, if you attack your opponent's security stack and a security Digimon comes out, you will not be deleted. And that's why you play this, and it really is as simple as that. You play it for jamming. 4,000 power is low, but if you attack the stack, you'll know if your opponent can block you or not, so you can time it nicely. If they don't have a blocker, they ain't blocking you. And then you're not getting destroyed by a security Digimon. So actually, this is really good as a little Digimon that's going to be poking away your opponent's security without getting destroyed. Darsmon, when you play it, or on your turn, when you play a level 3 yellow Digimon, I should say, if this Digimon is suspended, you draw 1. Cool. As long as this is suspended, which basically means you've already attacked with it, you play a level 3 yellow Digimon to draw a card. And that yellow 3 level Digimon could be Tsukaimon, which only costs 2 to play normally. Or Patamon, which then will draw your Tamers. Yeah, there's a nice combo going on here. Liamon, when you attack, if you've got 3 or more memory, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 power. So I've said we're going to get a bunch of ways to lower power. This is one of them. But it only works if you've got 3 or more memory. So there's going to be large chunks of the game where it doesn't work. Then again, it's a level 4. You're probably going to play it normally and then evolve it quite quickly. So maybe it's not going to be a big deal, but it makes me nervous. Angemon, when you play it, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 power. And now you can see how we're building this up. There are plenty of other ways, but now we are going to be lowering power. And when we're lowering power, we get Labramon's skill, which is kind of lovely. We get Tokemon's skill to give us extra power, which is rather lovely. We can also have a look at Petermon here, but we've already really looked at it. You play it to play a free Tinkermon. It's as simple as that. Moving into level 5s, we've got Sirenmon. Sirenmon is a vanilla, but it's a 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve. It's not powerful, incidentally. It's actually quite weak. But all of your other level 5s cost 3 to evolve. This doesn't. All your other level 5s cost 6 or 7 to play normally. This doesn't. It's cheap. Chironmon, or Chirinmon, or however it's pronounced. When you attack, you gain free memory at the end of the turn. You lose free memory. It's one of those memory borrowers we've talked about before. And frankly, we've mentioned in a lot of videos at this stage. These are for those big turns. You're not gaining any memory. You're borrowing memory. You're giving it right back at the end of the turn. But if it's your last turn of the game, i.e. it's a turn in which you win, or it is a turn where there's just a big combo you want to get off, these can really help you to do so. Pixiemon, 9,000 power level 5. Simple as that. It's not that cheap. It's not got no skills, but it's got 9,000 power, and that's good. Magnarangemon, when you play, you recover 1. Now, it's a play skill, not an evolution skill, or a Digivolution skill, which is to say you've got to play it for 7 cost normally, but you get to recover a card. And remember, we've seen a bunch of skills already that rely on you having a set number of security cards, so this is awesome. And it's got a Digivolution skill as well, an inheritable skill as we've been calling it. On your turn, this Digimon gets plus 1,000 power for every 3 security cards you have. So again, we've got a limited skill here. If you've not got 6 security, you're only getting an extra 1,000 power. If you got 1 or 2 security or none, doesn't do anything, which is sad. Worth pointing out, there is an alternate art version of this that you can pull in the booster box as well. Mistimon, when you play it, that's play not evolve, 2 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 3,000 power, and if they're playing weaker Digimon, they've not been able to evolve, etc., this can delete 2 Digimon, which is kind of nuts. Now, Slash Angemon is a weird one because it's an 8,000 power level 6. An 8,000 power level 6 is terrible. But when you evolve into it, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8,000 power for the rest of the turn. Yeah, that's kind of awesome, ladies and gentlemen. That is kind of awesome. Minus 8,000 power. I mean, this will delete a Slash Angemon, but it will delete a lot of level 3 to 5s. Not all of them. You know, Pixiemon would survive, but most of them will go down. And the other level 6 from the first booster box in Japan from New Evolution is Seraphimon. When you Digivolve recover 1, it's another way to gain a security card. Yay! But also on your turn, if you've got 3 or more security, you've got security attack plus 1. That is to say you get to remove an extra security card. And if you're playing this and gaining a security card, and then removing an extra one of your opponent's security cards, that could well swing the game in your favour. But again, we are talking about a time-limited skill here. Now, this is where the set list for the set gets a bit jumbled up, because they were all the New Evolution cards. There's then a couple of cards from Ultimate Power and Union Impact that made their way in as well. In fact, from Ultimate Power, there's one. It's Magnadramon. It's a level 6. When you play, if you've got 3 or fewer security cards, you recover 2. Now, the perfect time to play this, of course, if you've got free security cards. This puts you from free, halfway, well, almost halfway to losing, up to 5. Bearing in mind you start with 5. That's kind of awesome. Also, we should mention, going back to the Digitama quickly, Kyuramon's got a skill that activates when you've got 6 or more security cards. Remember, you only start with 5. Something to bear in mind. So this is phenomenal recovery, but again, it's kind of time limited, although this one's the other way round. It works when you've got 3 or fewer, so it's a later game thing. And then when you attack, you may play a yellow level 3 Digimon from your hand without paying its cost. Yes, you get to activate any play skills from it. This has a huge amount of potential. Being able to recover 2 cards, while also being able to play Digimon for free. It's a weak Digimon, but there's got to be some stuff to love here. Now, in terms of Union Impact, there really isn't very much at all in terms of Digimon, but we get one more. It's Kentarasmon. When you Digivolve, up to 5 of your opponent's Digimon get security attack -2. Yeah. Now, you cannot have minus security attack, but you can have 0. So, unless your opponent's Digimon have security attack +2, then they're going to have security attack 0. They can attack, and any skills that would activate when they attack will still activate, but they don't get to actually remove a security card, etc. Which is brilliant. I like it. And when it gets deleted, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -11,000 power. 11,000! That is going to delete the vast majority of Digimon. And then all of those skills that activate when you lower a Digimon's power to 0, they will all activate here. So once again, we've got a lot of really nice level 6s, and there is an alternate art version which is available there as well. Now, in terms of other level 6s, there are a couple in the starter deck. There is another Magnadramon. It's a vanilla, and this is a standard vanilla. All of the typings have it, all the colours have it. It's 10 cost to play normally, which is cheap. It's 2 cost to evolve, which is cheap. It's 12,000 power. It's got no skills, but it's cheap and powerful, and these do actually see a bunch of play. And then Seraphamon. When you attack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -4,000 power. No, when you've got X number of security cards or any of that rubbish, just an automatic -4,000 power. I'm in. This is fun. Now, in terms of Tamers here, we do have a few options. We've got TK Takaishi. This was from New Evolution. It's a 4 cost, but it's one of these where if you start the turn with 2 or fewer memory, you set your memory to 3. Yay! And when you play it, you look at your security stack, reveal a card in it and put it in your hand. If the card revealed is yellow, you recover 1. But do remember, this isn't real recovery. All you're actually doing here is replacing a security card you picked up. And if you don't pick up a yellow card, you're actually getting yourself closer to losing the game. But it gains you extra memory, and you get to grab a security card and put it into your hand, which gives you extra options of cards to play. So, you know what? Kind of in on this. I kind of like this. We've also got Kari Kamiya. That's a 3 cost Tamer. On your turn, if you've got 3 or fewer security, you gain a memory. So it's a later game card, but you're gaining memory, which is nice. I should mention every Tamer we've seen for every colour so far, they all have the same security effect. When they come out as security cards, you just play it without paying the cost. And then we've got the one from the starter deck, which is another TK Takaishi. It's a 2 cost, and on your opponent's turn, all your security Digimon get +2,000 power. Which is to say, when your opponent attacks your security stack, they are more likely to have their Digimon destroyed, which is a very good thing. Now, having a look over at the option cards, we've got Blade of the True, a 2 cost option card that draws 1 for every 2 security cards you have. So if you can, say, recover 1 and have 6 security, you're drawing 3. That's pretty good. But again, late game, it's not going to be good. Golden Ripper is a 3 cost option card. And all of your Digimon gain when attacking one of your opponent's Digimon gets -2,000 power. for the turn, which is awesome. If you've got multiple Digimon out, this is just going to lower, 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 lower. It's really good, but it does depend on your board. Blast Fire is a 4-cost option card that changes the initial DP of one of your opponent's Digimon to 3,000 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So the theory here, of course, is you lower their power to 3,000 and then you either attack or play another card to lower their power. And Symphony number 1 Polyphony is a 5-cost option card, but it lowers one of your opponent's Digimon's power by 7,000 for the turn. So again, there are so many ways to lower power here. Interestingly, none of these three have security effects. This one just does what it does as a security card. But we're lowering power. That's kind of what we do. That's kind of what we're into. Now, there are a couple others. No, there aren't. They're the only ones that actually made their way into this set. None of the yellow options from Union Impact or Ultimate Power actually made it in, which is a bit weird. To be fair, only 2 option cards from Union Impact did, so maybe we don't judge too harshly. But there are some options in the starter deck. Heaven's Gate is a 1-cost option card that gives you an extra 3,000 power on one of your opponent's Digimon. Heaven's Charm is a great card for 2 cost, which lowers one of your opponent's Digimon by 2,000 for the turn. Holy Flame is a 2-cost card, and one of your opponent's Digimon gets security attack -3. Chances are they are not getting any security until the end of your opponent's next turn. If it comes out to security, it lowers all of your opponent's Digimon by security attack -1. But if this comes out late in your opponent's turn, they're going to be done attacking and it's not going to be relevant. Hey ho. And 7 Heavens, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -10,000 power, but this is a 7 cost, it ain't cheap. But the great news is, although it's a 7 cost, as a security card, it does the same thing, so if you're lucky, you can actually use it for free. And then there are a few other yellow Digimon in the starter deck we can mop up with. Salamon is just another one of these. It's a 2 cost to play normally. It's cheap. Tapermon is just a bit bad. It's mildly more powerful at 4,000, but don't play it. Patamon's got an inheritable skill whereby, once per turn, if you lower your opponent's DP to 0, you gain a memory. And we've seen yellow has a lot of options for that. Angemon, when you attack, if you've got 4 or more security, you gain a memory. But again, it's an early game thing. It's not going to work in the late game. Gatamon's a vanilla, which is a little bit cheaper. Yay. Unimon is your standard blocker, which is good, but you lose 2 memory when you attack. Which is to say, don't attack with it, unless you're absolutely desperate or it's going to win you the game. Because you're giving up 2 memory, and that's a bad thing. Magna Angemon's got an inheritable skill that when you attack, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 1,000 power for the turn, which is not that much, but you combo it with all the other ways we've got to lower power, and it's awesome. Angel Woman, when you Digivolve, when you have 3 security cards or less, you recover 1. But again, this is limited. It's great because you recover 1, but it doesn't always work. Be careful. And then you got the level 6s that we've previously mentioned. And that's what yellow does. It's a fair bit of recovery, and it is a lot of lowering power. If that's what you want to do, yellow is for you. They tend to be a bit weaker, and you can be looking to get kind of combo heavy, but deleting multiple random Digimon in the middle of a turn and then going after the security, that has got to be something that's worth a go. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you think about all these yellow cards. I want to know your reaction to them. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays. Bye.